Boss, thank you for joining us. A little layoff with the Carlisle fixture being postponed, but it's Morecambe on the horizon now.
Yeah, it was a layoff in terms of not travelling and not having a game, but at the same time we were still working. We didn't get the news that the game was going to be off until after we'd finished training on the Friday. So we trained on the Saturday, played an internal game, which was really important for a number of different reasons. One, to work on some bits and pieces, but secondly, to give some of the players that also haven't had, game time, a bit of a game in terms of trying to make it competitive. And I think it's really hard on a Saturday to try and recreate that environment. But the boys did it really well, applied themselves really well. Played it here at the school, at the training ground, and despite all the sort of circumstances not being quite what you get on a Saturday, it was a productive day. So not the same, but like I say, you have to do the best with what was thrown at us, and then it's given us a good week to get some work in and plan and look towards what we do when we come up against Morecambe at the weekend.
And we've only just recently played the Shrimps, obviously lost 2-1 there. It was a game that we felt we performed well, particularly in that first half, I think it's fair to say. What do you think needs to change this time to get the right result?
Sustain that period. I think 35 minutes was the time figure really that we felt we really controlled that game, and we probably never created quite enough clear shots at goal within that, but I thought our performance was excellent for that period in the first half. And then just before half time, had a couple of moments, and we didn't bounce back from those moments and come out in the second half and didn't really feel as though we got going anywhere near the same level. So for me, it's about sustaining that. I think against Southend, we were relentless, continuously built on the good parts and good play that we came up with, and then Salford different, but at the same time we still had the intent to keep doing the right thing. So I think that's what it's about for us. It's about continuing to do good things well, simple things well. It gives you the platform to go out and win games, and then when you're on top, like we were on that night, you've got to put a team away and kill them off and not give them anything to fight back for in the second half.
As I mentioned, our game against Carlisle was cancelled, so we didn't have any competitive fixtures, whereas Morecambe, of course, played Chelsea in the FA Cup. Having been beat 4-0, what do you think they, kind of mentally coming into this game, how will they prepare?
Personally, I don't think it would mean a great deal. I think you look at the FA Cup and it's a fantastic achievement by Crawley. But obviously, like you say there, the game that impacts us is the one that Morecambe come up against Chelsea. You're coming up against Chelsea, albeit with some changes, but players like Callum Hudson-Odoi and Mason Mount and people like that, top players in the country, if not Europe and the world. So you can't really overanalyse that. And I think if I were in the Morecambe changing room, I would have been sending my team out hoping to cause an upset, but knowing that there's every likelihood it can end up like it was for Morecambe, like it was for Tottenham going to Marine. Those scenarios are going to happen when you come up against the big boys. If they turn it on, there's not a great deal you can do about it. So I don't think Morecambe will be over-analysing that too much. They'll be probably doing what we are, and that's looking at what the performance looked like when we played them not so long ago.
And how important for us is it to build on that victory against Salford and keep good momentum going on in the new year?
Well, I think it's that, really. It's important to hold on to momentum and give yourself... keep breeding more and more confidence, more and more self-belief, because that's what it does. It's very easy for it to turn the other way, in terms of lose a couple of games and everyone can feel like it's the end of the world. But it shows you how quickly the turnaround can happen in both contexts. So we want to be looking up. We want to be continuing to build. We've always keep saying, and I'm consistent with saying that about us striving to get better and to be more. And that's all part of the process and what we're trying to do.
And in terms of Leyton Orient, will there be any players that miss out through injury?
Not right now. Majority of people have trained. I think what Saturday did give us was an opportunity of people that were nursing a few little wounds and knocks and niggles, that we've given them the opportunity to have some time off of their feet, if you like, in terms of not having to have contact to get bashed around like you do in League 2 football. And in the same time, we can manipulate their training program a little bit to make sure that they get over the little knocks that they've got. So we'll see how that looks. Obviously, a couple more sessions before the game at the weekend. So hopefully we continue to come through it in a good bit of health.
Perfect. Thank you, boss.